In this video, I would like to talk about employee handbooks. My name is Nina, and I'm about to get in your business. If you would like to know more about business operations, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you will be alerted when new videos are uploaded. In the state of Texas, it is not required for employers to have an employee handbook. With that being said, good written employment policies that are properly followed may help employers defend against post-termination issues and employment-related litigation. Should your company elect to create an employee handbook, all aspects of the employment relationship should be addressed. Your employee handbook should outline what your company expects from employees, such as job requirements, attendance, drug policy, weapons at work, and vacation time. Address any questions your employees may have, such as benefits, compensation, dress code, paid holidays, and other topics. Once you create your employment policies, it's generally up to the employer to define and enforce. The Employment at Will Doctrine in Texas gives employers the right to set policies and change the majority of employment policies at will, depending on the needs of the business. Now in Texas, employers can change employment policies at a moment's notice. In addition, employment policies are not regarded as binding employment contracts. An employment policy can be oral, written, or a combination of both, but ideally, all critical policies should be in writing. My recommendations on employment policies of any kind is that they all should be in writing, given the fact that humans can forget details about a policy or forget the policy altogether, especially if it's not enforced. When starting to create your company's employee manual, decide what type of culture you would like to have at your workplace. Convey those goals and types of culture in your policy. If you have any previous policies and procedures, whether they were written or unwritten, determine if you will continue, eliminate, or change them. Add these to your new employee manual. Draft a preliminary document for your key personnel to review. Make any necessary changes and consult a licensed employment attorney to review the final draft. Schedule a company meeting in which each employee receives a copy of the employee handbook. I recommend reviewing each policy with the employees and answering any questions. Once you review the document, each employee should sign an acknowledgement of receipt of the employee handbook. Management should also sign that document. These documents are to be placed in each employee's folder. Finally, all supervisory personnel should be trained on how to use the employee handbook. There are some caveats. Even though employers have the right to change any employment policy at will, it is not advisable to do it without, at the minimum, attempting to give some sort of advance notice to your employees. If the policy change alters an employee's work relationship so much and so adversely that a reasonable employee would quit under the circumstances, the employer could face a loss in an unemployment claim. Employers should attempt to anticipate potential problems and think of alternatives when considering policy changes. Aside from unemployment claims, employers could also face a loss in employee morale and productivity with ill-advised or ill-timed changes. Ensure that your employees are aware of your company's employment policies, since an unknown policy does absolutely no good. Sometimes unemployment claims or litigation suits are lost if an employer is unable to show proof that the claimant had been informed of the policies he or she violated. What's worse than an unknown policy? A policy that is not followed by the company, especially with respect to disciplinary matters. When terminating an employee, please keep in mind that it's up to the employer to show that either the employee knew or should have known he or she could lose his job for the reason given. If, for example, your policy talks about 2 verbal warnings, then a written warning, then suspension, and then termination, and then the employee was terminated only after 2 verbal warnings, the employer may lose an unemployment claim or a lawsuit unless a compelling reason can be shown as to why the policy was not followed. Reliable and consistent enforcement of employment policies will also help the company defend itself in a discrimination claim, for example, or any other type of lawsuit. If, for example, an employee was terminated for an offense for which others were warned, and there was no compelling reason for treating the terminated employee differently, the employer will lose any unemployment claim or possibly lose litigation. Clearly written employment policies that are distributed to employees and properly enforced may help your company's defense against any post-termination issues. Thanks for watching.